Go ahead and get started. Joshua is up first. Joshua, yeah, there we go. Joshua Barr. Joshua is the chief strategist and president of Raising the Bar LLC. The organization conducts seminars, dialogues, and workshops designed to cultivate an organization's human capital in order to improve an organization's bottom line and mission. In 2020, he debuted his Emmy Award-winning documentary, Breaking Bread, Building Bridges, that told the story of nearly 40 strangers who were matched up together based on their differences to have dinners over the course of a few months. He previously served as the director of the Des Moines Civil and Human Rights Commission. He was a member of our 2019 40 Under 40 class. And Joshua, your punishment, incentive, if you go over your time, you're changing your business's name to Lowering the Bar. Please give Joshua a big welcome.
There was a man who heard of a rare bird that could speak 5 languages and went searching around the world to find this bird. He searched 6 continents looking for this bird and finally arrived at the last pet store on earth. The bird was not there, and he asked the store owner, "Can you help me locate this rare bird? I've looked everywhere." The store owner decided to help him, and he identified the bird. It was actually in the man's hometown, the one place he neglected to look. Knowing that the bird was there, he called the pet store owner and said, "Hey, can you send this bird to my home?" And the next day he arrived home and said to his spouse, "Dear, did the bird come?" "Yes," his spouse replied. "Well, where is it?" "In the oven." And he responded, "Are you kidding me? Did you not know that that bird could speak 5 different languages?" And his spouse replied, "Well, why didn't it speak up?" Now, as business leaders, who are you in this story? Are you the bird slowly watching what's happened, having the ability to speak, yet you are silent, slowly watching your own demise? You see, Iowa presently is not meeting its business workforce needs in order to grow and be competitive, ranking the bottom 6 in ethnic diversity, and growth is primarily coming from people that don't look like people in this audience. Yet politicians and others are trying to roll back diversity and inclusion efforts in Iowa. Well, I'm here today to tell you can't be neutral on the moving train of life. Business is one leg in a 3-legged stool that holds up our society. Government and people are the other 2. Businesses are the organs that provide functions and services that make our society work, but a society can't exist without people. And if businesses play the neutral card regarding the plight of people and the opportunities of people, the entire stool of society is going to collapse. In 2026, the United States is estimated to have an educational enrollment bust in regard to young people enrolling in secondary education. Universities right here in Iowa are going to have a tough time recruiting new students. Is the business community here collaborating with our local colleges and universities to create niche opportunities more relevant to both the needs of the students and the Iowa business community? If you don't have students, eventually you won't have a workforce. How are we working with politicians, both local and state and federal, to help attract good talent and not scare it away with non-welcoming rhetoric? Are you the man in the story, looking all around the world for certain talent when you have that talent right here in your own backyard? We can create internship and apprentice programs to raise up the next generation of workers and leaders in Iowa, like Evelyn K. Davis Center is trying to do. You don't have to leave the state, and those young people don't have to leave the state to build the life that they always wanted to have. We need to invest in all communities that are already here. But are we willing to take the time to cultivate the talents, the passions, and the skills of people right here in the greater Des Moines area? Let's end the brain drain here in Iowa. Let's map out the future we desire for our communities and work with our chambers of commerce, governments, schools, and civic organizations to make that happen. Or we can continue to spend money and searching far and wide, trying to attract other people who'd rather be on the Pacific or the Atlantic Ocean. Also, are you communicating your vision to your team? You can be like the spouse in the story, just doing what you think is your role, failing to see the bigger picture. Your leaders are failing to communicate the idea and your role in shaping our communities. Or maybe you're just not asking the right questions because you aren't a leader, but rather you are a docile manager who doesn't ask questions, missing out on great opportunities that come knocking at your door because you've been programmed not to think, but just play a role. Real leaders have a vision and can articulate that vision. Managers just follow instructions. Leaders, if you're in the building, we must show people that Iowa is a place where you can have a great quality of life, and people of all shapes, sizes, and colors are welcome here and can prosper. If you are only here for yourself, we won't get very far. If we want to go far as a community, a region, and a state, we have to go together. Don't be neutral. Get involved in the direction and trajectory of our region and state, because if you don't, you've already made a decision on what's important to you. Thank you.